Teams that need guys like you, guys that are willing to wait and guys that are willing to work. I guess why was it important for you to do both of those things, to get your opportunity now?
Yeah, I think something that's important here is just kind of the selfless piece, I think just trying to work hard and, improve as a player, and also just to stay present too, how can I just be the best player I can right now, and, help the team, help the guys around me. Really just, keeping that selfless piece, and just trying to take advantage of, the resources we have here, the coaching staff, and also seeing, the guys like Dylan, Paul, guys who really put in the work and, trust the process, and, that was really inspiring for me, and just to kind of, keep the long run in mind, and know that, you don't really make huge jumps as a player in a short period of time. So just being able to show up every day and put in the work consistently, that's something I've always done as a player, and honestly what I just love to do, just to keep continually getting better every day. So
take a big step forward.
Yep.
Coach talked about a little bit about the medical situation you kind of went through last year. Could you kind of, if you're willing to, could you sort of talk about what happened there?
Absolutely, yeah. So we just got back from Arkansas April 1st, unfortunately, April Fool's Day. Woke up with a swollen left arm. Didn't think much of it. Came in here, just went about my day as usual, lifted, and then saw my trainers. I should have probably saw them before. But it was just, I didn't have any pain or anything like that, but I ended up going to the ER, got about every test done, and then found out that I had thoracic outlet syndrome. So it's pretty much where your first rib pinches your vein for me, and that led to a couple blood clots in my shoulder. One broke off and went to my lung, which caused a pulmonary embolism, which can be pretty serious. So spent 4 days in the ICU, had a couple procedures done, and then left after 4 days, and then went back in the next week. Got my first rib taken out, had a couple more procedures to help open that vein up, get blood flow back to my arm, and then I was put on blood thinners for 6 months. So kind of a long process, scary process, but something I'm very thankful for. I think you can kind of get caught up in the day-to-day, and you don't realize how many blessings and gifts you have. So right now I'm just very thankful to be healthy again, and just play with the abilities God's given me, and really just enjoy where I'm at. So
do you notice the missing rib? Which one was it?
It's the first one. It's actually way up here, so pretty small. You wouldn't. It was like this big, I think. Okay. I tried to get it, but unfortunately I couldn't. So, but no, I don't really notice it. So very thankful for the medical team at Our Lady of the Lake. Dr. Davis, everyone. Just very thankful.
So which of the trainers and who on the team sort of figured out that maybe you should check this out like now?
I think Isaac and Bailey for sure helped. I think it was just one of those things that probably should just be safe and get all the tests done, and so I'm very thankful for their guidance, and just they're always wanting to make sure that their players are healthy and in the best state. So.
Did it look bigger, or
it was just it felt like I just worked out, honestly. Like I think I slept on my side, so I woke up, it was kind of like numb a little, just swollen, no bruising or anything like that, no pain. So I was kind of just thought it was like
a pump.
Yeah, literally. That's what I think. That's what I told the nurse. I'm like, it just feels like I got a pump in my left arm. So yeah, that's.
Wow. And then when you're in the ICU and stuff, what's going through your head about, not to turn this to a darker place, but what's
no.
Going through your head then?
Honestly, it's funny you say that, because honestly, it was almost the complete opposite of a dark place for me. I felt like it was just a very peaceful time for me, and my faith is very important, and I think it was just a time where I just felt like God's providence was just watching over me, and kind of one of those situations where you just become very thankful for all the blessings you have, and opportunities to just play baseball in the first place, and have the abilities you do, and to have access to care like that at the lake and stuff like that. So.
How long did it take them to find it? Was that kind of a rare thing, or they knew immediately?
Mine, so it was hard because for the test they do, like an ultrasound can't really pick it up because it's underneath the collarbone. So like you kind of have to look at the surrounding areas. And originally it pretty much didn't show anything. The CT scan looked good. And they're like, hey, we'll just take a look at you next week. And then they came back in 5 minutes later, like, hey, you should probably get your parents on the phone. And so they actually admitted me for the PE, the pulmonary embolism, and then they were able to go in the next morning through a venogram, go through the vein, actually look at the, I guess the subclavian vein, and really get a good picture. And if your vein's usually like this big, mine was minuscule, so I was pretty much put at the top of the list for like, hey, we gotta get this thing open and take good care of you. So
you're like a pre-med student now, you know all this stuff.
I think the nurses and the doctors were pretty surprised. They're like, wow, you really know your case here. I'm like, yeah, it's interesting to me. So my dad's he's in the medical scene, so it's always something that I've kind of grown up around and learned about that stuff. So it's awesome.
Is that an impact injury? How does that
just repetition, honestly. So just like overhead movement, stuff like that kind of causes that pinching. It's actually, I think it's more common, I think, than people think. Just they don't even know they have it really. And oftentimes it's not really that serious. Just in my case, it was one of the rare ones.
So injury aside, like you're a guy that's on a team that's got just dudes on it, right? Like I think Grant talked about Dylan, right? Like you're playing behind Dylan Cruz. Like there's not a lot of movement in your position, so how do you keep your head up and right? Is that just like an awareness? Like, I got one of the dudes in front of me that it's going to be tough. I just got to do what I can do while I can do it. Like, how do you approach that idea of having to wait?
Yeah.
Obviously the injury made it easy for that part, but like before that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me growing up, I was always someone who kind of just stuck with the process. Kind of knowing that the hard work would pay off, and even if it doesn't pay off in the way you're thinking, it's kind of molding you as an individual and a person. My freshman year, being able to watch Dylan on the, every day, it's like just pick his brain and learn what you can, and just try to be grateful for the opportunity, and try not to get so short-sighted where it's like, you kind of break it up into like a 3 month or 6 months like frame of mind instead of looking a couple years down the road, or just developing as a player, trusting the coaches we have here and the player development process. That's something I really believe in. So especially in the weight room with Chris Martin now, I think that's something that's really great. So
and this year's team, just the roster, the competitive nature of everything Jake's talking about, trying to get as many guys looks as possible. Do you feel like you're more in the mix now, and like not that every game is your chance, but like it certainly seems like there's that possibility, right?
Yeah, I think going into every game, I'm kind of just trying to stay present and help my guys out in any way I can. Whether it's energy, enthusiasm, focus, not really looking at like when will I get in or stuff like that. Just trying to again, like that selfless piece, and just help the team out in any way I can. And when it's my turn to execute, just do the best I can and trust my preparation and kind of let that unfold. So.
How have you seen the team's chemistry strengthen and change since your freshman year being here?
Obviously we've had a good amount of guys come in, and some guys leave, and so I think the character piece is something that's always important to Coach Johnson and the staff, and I think that's definitely a strong suit of our team this year. We talked about this weekend, but the enthusiasm that we show up with every day, whether it's music in in the locker room, whatever, guys doing early work. I think that's kind of a reflection of the character the team has, and it's something we need. So.
At what point were you cleared to play again?
Yeah, that was October, first week of October. So yeah, they over the next couple months they did a couple more procedures, making sure there are no more clots or anything like that. The pulmonary embolism was gone, so did a couple procedures, and then finally took me off blood thinners in October. Can't really be in the mix with while on those meds. You can't get any internal bleeding or anything like that. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what Jay was saying. It was sort of touch and go there for a while. How was it for you getting back into things fully?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think going in with the perspective that I gained, just taking it one day at a time, not dwelling too much on any result or anything like that, just knowing that it's a process, it always is, even before the injury, so just kind of gaining that perspective, and it was just great to get back into the mix of things and just play baseball.
So it didn't fix a swing at the plate or throw it? There was no effects?
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing, no side effects, so. Yeah,
didn't decrease range of motion or anything?
No, yeah, nothing that I can think of, so.
Or maybe if you took it out, maybe it increased it.
Right? I think so. I hope.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Tommy John.
Yeah, exactly.
You're from Washington, right?
Utah.
I'm sorry, so West Coast. Have you had a long relationship with Coach Jay from his time before LSU?
Yeah, so I was originally committed to Arizona, I think back in 21, I think going into my junior year, and then recommitted to LSU after he got the job in my senior year in 22. So, that relationship is something that's been built over the last couple of years, and something I'm very grateful for. I think he's a great coach and knows what he's doing, and I think that also helps the player development piece. Knowing that they invest a lot in me, and in turn I've invested a lot in them, and I think it's a great mutual relationship. So
What sort of allowed you, not maybe allowed you, but what sort of makes you want to keep on, I guess, sticking with him? You follow him from Arizona to LSU. Mm-hmm. You decide the redshirt first season. There's a lot of players who just aren't willing to do those sort of things. Mm-hmm. So, what specifically is that? Why is that connection so strong? I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think just seeing the way he carries himself, he's always kept his word with me, and I think that transparency is something I really appreciate, and I think just knowing how much he puts into his work and how much he cares is something that I try not to overlook. So,
what was your reaction in those around you when he took the LSU job?
I mean, it was kind of like not a shock, but it was like it was surprising, and I mean I knew that he deserved the job, and there was no one better fit, so. Just try to take it a couple days and then reach out and see what the plan was. So, yeah.
Mom and Dad got to travel further.
Yeah, pretty much.
How about the job Chris is doing in the outfield? Speak to his coverage, and we've already seen some spectacular plays that he's making out there. The appreciation, I guess, that you can feel for that, right?
Yeah, he's a great player. I think his mental frame of mind and just being able to trust his abilities and play free, relax. I think that's something we all see. You kind of see his personality too on the field, whether he's smiling or competing. I think those are all strengths of his, and so it's something I can learn from. I think just it's fun to see him out there. His range in the outfield and stuff like that. So
we're only 4 games into this thing, but Jay's rolling over the roster a lot. So I guess if you're not in that starting lineup, it gives you the idea that you're probably going to see some time. I guess does that help, or from a player's perspective, does it help your approach to their game? You talked about being the best teammate, but being able to see the field and get to the field, does it help you maybe lock in for those first 3 innings where you're not necessarily starting?
I think for me, just being able to treat every day the same, honestly. That's something I actually learned from Dugas, just a couple of weeks ago or last week or something. That's a relationship I'm very grateful for too. My freshman year, he's got a lot of wisdom, and so just being able to learn from him. Obviously, faced a lot of adversity with injury too, and his strength was being able to prepare the same way every day, and really not differentiate between whether. Where he's at on the daily with the lineup or whatever. So, really just taking each moment as it comes, knowing that whatever each game looks like, it doesn't really affect my preparation, my work, how I approach the game, and stuff like that. So,
are you surprised at all that Derek's hit the ground running as a freshman?
No. I mean, he's kind of a gamer. He loves baseball, and again, someone who just plays very free and loves to compete. So, I'm not surprised that he's having success, and I'm excited to see what he does. So,
Devin Sheeran's kind of taken over the old Will Helmer's role before these games. What does he do that's a little bit different than Will, and what makes him the right fit for that role?
Yeah, I'm not sure. he's got the Will Homer's role. I don't know if anyone can fulfill that role. Honestly, Will was kind of one of one. But I think he did, a good job the first couple of days of, getting the team fired up. And, I don't know if anyone's really going to have that role the rest of the year just because we were talking about the other day, and it's like Will memorized 150 speeches over the last 2 years, It's like he has a different one every day. And, it's just crazy. So, it's been fun, though.
Do the things on your wrist have any meaning?
Yeah, definitely. So this one is a Padre Pio bracelet. Here's my confirmation saying. It was just, it says pray, hope, and don't worry. That's something, me and my family really relied on during adversity. And this is our team over me bracelet. Just trying to keep that mindset always. And then this was a bracelet we got, from a fan, trying to raise awareness for ours. And our bracelet this year is tough and together. Just kind of the two things we can focus on daily. Whether we're having success or facing adversity, it's keeping a tough frame of mind, willing to execute our job and prepare for that, and just trying to stay together and selfless. And then another bracelet I got from a coach I got summer ball a couple years ago. It says I am second. Just trying to trust God's plan and know that His plan is greater than mine. And then we got this at an event, I think last week, just a mental health event. So, yeah.
All the players on the team get the team above me.
Yeah, we get that every year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What does that kind of mean to you? Because it's pretty apparent this year, obviously.
Yeah. I think just it means a lot. Honestly, a lot of different things. I think something that helps all the players really with that mindset is just being able to take the pressure almost off themselves and refocus it on the team. If you try to focus on your results or whatever it may be your role, it kind of almost distracts you from the main focus of competing every day and getting better. So I think that's mainly the focus for me.
So you said your dad's in the medical field. What does he sort of do?
Yeah. So he's a bio-executive or biomedical executive, biotech executive. He started a company when I was young that did genetic testing for kids with autism and developmental delays. So he's a lot smarter than I am. But so that was something growing up, seeing how selfless he was. He never let his work really affect his character and how much he prioritized family. That makes up a lot of my character today and something I try to emulate. And I think that's kind of where the, whether it's selflessness or hard work and just sticking with it, just knowing that, there's going to be ups and downs. And so. Is
the medical field something that you're interested in moving forward? Or not really?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm an international trade and finance major, so, my dad's also kind of in the business field, being a CEO. So, I don't think it's ever too late to, count out medical field or whatever route I choose.
So you can educate us on tariffs.
Not right now, probably not. But hopefully soon.
What are you studying right now?
International trade.
Yeah.
You ever cross paths with Daniel Dickinson over the years?
I didn't actually. No, surprisingly, he went to UVU. Had my state tournament there actually my senior year. But no, never crossed paths with him. Honestly, had a couple buddies back home who did, but that's kind of about it. So. Are
Utah and Washington big baseball hotbeds, or not so much recruiting wise?
I think we definitely have some great players out there, some talent for sure. I think being a cold weather state, it kind of makes it hard to play year round and really maybe go to some of the other events that other kids do. So for me growing up, it was really just maximizing almost that off season, in the weight room, getting faster, stronger, stuff like that. So I think that's helped me become a player I am today. But it's different, with being inside a lot, and so you kind of have to just try to get out and play as much as you can.
Ethan Fry spoke with us the other day, and he talked about how everything, even down to the way he swung, had to be changed because of the shoulder injury that I was dealing with. How much was that for actually affecting him last year as someone was on the team, obviously?
You mean affecting
him, just his everyday play, trying to get out there and play? How much was that affecting him, the shoulder?
I'm not really sure, honestly, because I was gone for a month or a month and a half. So, you know, I think I missed out on a good bit, but, you know, I'm confident that, you know, Ethan, you know, handled that adversity well, and, you know, I don't think it really affected, you know, how I played or how he approached each day, I think. So, you know, he's a very mature person, and, yeah, so I think he probably handled it well.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
Mind if I take a photo of your person? Yeah, absolutely.